come?
No, that's the lot. All I'm taking is what I came with. Anything Neil bought me, well, he can do what he wants with it.
You're very calm about this.
It's my decision. The right thing to do.
And what about the horse, or dare I ask?
I don't want to leave anything of mine here. I'll phone a few livery stables today, sort something out.
Fine. Well, best be off. Don't want to hang around, do we?
He won't be back, so there's no panic.
Gone out?
Gone away to London. Left me 4 cases and exactly 3 days to remove myself. Mr. Efficiency himself is Neil. You won't believe this. Had my name cancelled on his insurance policy. That's why I called you. No car.
Well, I hope it's more than that. I thought we were friends as well.
Of course we are. And I appreciate this, you know I do.
Cool customer is Mr. Kincaid.
Oh, yes. Stiff upper lip, English reserve, whatever you want to call it. Once I'd made my decision, didn't waste any more energy on me.
I'm sorry.
It's his loss. Thanks again, Joe, for this. I hate being dependent on anyone.
It's all right. What are friends for?
Could be worse. Got my health, my hands, and I think my dignity's fairly intact.
Pride?
So-so.
How about your heart?
The damage report some other time, eh?
What?
I was just thinking, Frank chucked me out of my ear. Has been stomping around like a maniac ever since. Whereas Neil turned into the human cucumber.
Well, people react differently. When I was going through the mincer with Kate, I just felt numb.
Strange. This time last year, I was a successful businesswoman with a good marriage, chance of a family, beautiful house. Look at me now, moving into digs. What a come down, eh?
Well, you don't want to look back. Or down either.
I don't. It's not my way. Things can only get back to square one, eh?
You'll bounce back. You always do.
Yeah.
And look, if there's anything else you want, you know where I am. If you just want to even have a talk.
Thanks. You're very understanding.
See you then.
Joe, I don't want Frank to know about what's happened. Not yet.
Don't worry. I won't tell a soul. Promise.
It's a white wine, please. Joe, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely, categorically sure.
We do not want a drink, thank you.
Okay.
I must say it's good to see you in here, Frank. Being part of the village at last.
I would have been here years ago if it hadn't been for Kim. She likes sitting in the big house, playing at being the big lady. Joe, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure, and for heaven's sake, just leave me alone.
All right, all right.
Come on, let's go through to the wine bar.
Ah, Chris, well, yeah.
I'm driving.
Me too. We'll share a cab. You'll have a drink, won't you, then?
Be glad to.
Kim?
Park looks nice.
Needs to. Season's only a couple of weeks away now.
I spent so much time with Frank, listening to his ideas for the place, putting in a few suggestions of my own. But I feel like a complete stranger here.
You shouldn't.
He's made me feel like this.
Look, come to my office. It's warmer there.
Yeah. You got a coffee machine in there? Good. I was hoping you could do me another favour, actually.
Like I said the other day, any time.
Well, I don't have much money to spend, but I've got a bit put by. Would you come and help me buy a car?
Me? You probably know more about cars than I do.
Oh, well, you know what car salesmen are like. As soon as they see a female face, they get the colour charts out. They seem to think that's all women care about. And I'm sure I'll get a better deal if I've got a man with me.
I'll be glad to come with you.
Thanks.
You've still not told him, I suppose, Frank?
Had I left Neil? No,
You think you ought to?
not yet. He'll try and fob me off with a smaller settlement if he knows I'm on my own. He'll think I'm desperate.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, well, I'm not prepared to take the risk.
You won't hear it from me.
Thank you, Joe.
Look, maybe you ought to go. Just in case Frank, turns up.
I'll go because I don't want to cause trouble for you, Joe. But I intend to get my rightful share.
And knowing you, you'll get it.
Yeah, well, put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into Frank's little empire. I want what's rightfully mine.
Quite right, too.
I won't be fobbed off.
Good evening.
Frank, nice to see you.
As if you weren't expecting me.
All the same. What can I get you?
You know, I feel like some champagne.
What are you celebrating?
What's today?
Thursday.
I'm celebrating Thursday.
I'll go and put some on ice.
Thanks.
By the way, I saw Christopher earlier. He seems worried about you.
He no need to be. I'm fine. You tell him for me.
As it happens, I already have.
Good for you.
I'll go and get the bubbly. Sorry, it's not as cold as it should be. Next time, give us a bit of notice, eh?
Aren't you going to join me?
Not just now.
Maybe later, eh? Ah, here's someone who'll help me out.
Hey, what's this, a celebration?
That's right. I'm here, I'm healthy, and I'm free of that woman.
Oh, Frank.
No, don't say anything. I'm fine. Honest. Chris?
No, I'd rather have a pint.
Why, don't you want some of this?
Yes, he will, thanks. Chris, is that who's in here drinking this and at the bar knocking back the hard stuff?
It's still alcohol. All right, I'll have one.
Lynn, give him a couple of glasses.
Now, who's encouraging him?
All I ask is that you don't let him drink and drive.
As if I would. I know all about drunk drivers, remember? And if it comes to that, I'll run him home myself.
Kim,
Hello, I was looking for Joe.
he's not here, I'm afraid.
No, obviously. Oh, well, I'll wait. He said he'd be here.
You'll wait?
Yes, any reason why not?
No, of course not. What can I get you?
Gin and tonic, thanks.
Nice to see you again, Mrs. Tate.
Thank you, sir. Nice to see you, too. How are things?
Not bad. Life goes on, eh?
It does, sir.
What are we going to do?
She obviously doesn't know he's here. How can we do?
Well, do you think I should warn her that Frank's in the wine bar?
Well, it's none of our business, Mr. Turner. I mean, I know I've always been one for sticking my nose in, but I honestly don't think we should.
And as long as they don't start chucking the furniture in there.
Hey, if that's okay, I'll get it.
Oh, thanks.
And a pint for me. And a pint of cough mixture for him and all.
I've got a couple of cars lined up to look at tomorrow, if you're still game.
Yeah, I'm still game.
Good.
How are you, Kim?
Oh, mustn't grumble, Carol.
Do you think I ought to have a word in Frank's ear?
Well, if you do that, Mr. Turner, he's bound to come in here looking for her.
Yes, you're probably right. It's better we leave him to it.
Much more entertaining.
Lynn tells me you called around this morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a word with her about Dad.
Oh. That's all it was?
Of course. What else?
You didn't give her a hard time about telling you where I was then?
No, I...
Look, Chris, I don't want to tell you what I'm doing because I want to surprise you. I think you'd be really proud of me. But if you're going to go around bullying my friends, then I guess I'll have to tell you.
No. I like surprises.
Be able to pick up something decent for around 3,000 or 4,000.
As long as you're careful.
Oh, well, that's where you come in.
I've told you before, I don't know much about cars.
Well, I just want something reliable to get me around to look at stables.
You're going to stay in the livery business, then?
What else do I know?
Won't be cheap, Kim.
No, you don't have to tell me. May have to find myself a partner.
Well, I'm glad to see you so upbeat about it all.
Yeah, well, sitting around on my backside isn't going to get me very far, is it?
True enough.
Same again?
She's coming, Mr. Turner. You ought to tell her.
I don't know what to do.
About what, Alan?
About who takes over while I'm on holiday.
Of course, yes, you're going away.
Yes, it's 2 weeks cruise and med.
Very nice, too. Same again, please, Carol.
Oh, right.
It's very quiet in here tonight, Alan. Or is it just my imagination?
No, it's quiet.
At the moment.
Here we are, Kim.
Oh, right, thanks.
Oh, dear.
What? Oh. Hello, Frank.
Where's good old Neil, the landed gentry? Let you out for the night, has he?
Frank, you're drunk.
Well spotted.
Frank, I think you ought to leave.
Why? What's wrong?
Alan, I'll go. He'll only make a bigger fool of himself if I don't. Good night.
Go on, that's it. Run back to your boyfriend.
Chris, do you think we could take your father home?
Of course. Come on, Dad.
I'll go home when I'm ready.
Frank, that's enough. Go home. Come back tomorrow when you've calmed down. Come on, Frank, let's go.
Did you know he was in here? Well, what I did.
Why didn't you say something?
That's what I said.
Good evening.
Oh, hiya, Frank.
Hello, Dad.
You feeling better?
What?
Well, Chris said you weren't feeling too well today.
Oh, that was nothing. I'm fine. Can I get you a drink?
Yeah, half a lager, please.
Yeah, I'll have a pint.
I'll have an orange juice, please.
Don't be ridiculous. Have a glass of wine.
Don't want a glass of wine, thank you. I'm driving.
Well, one glass is not going to put you over the limit.
Look, if you can't give me what I want, I'll buy my own.
All right, all right. A glass of orange juice, please.
Evening. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Seth, have a drink. Archie?
I don't know. Some people live high in the hog, eating out every night.
I could get used to it. No cooking, no shopping.
No washing up.
I bet you're looking forward to moving in here, then.
You can say that again. Pretty basic, that holiday cottage.
Oh, so, you wouldn't recommend it to a friend of mine who unexpectedly finds herself homeless?
Not unless she's used to Arctic conditions.
Are you going to ask who this friend is?
Well, who is it then, Joe, since you're obviously dying
It's
to
all right,
tell us?
it's all right if you don't want to know.
Oh, go on. Get on with it.
Kim Tate. She's living in a guest house.
Why?
Her and Kincaid have split up.
Well, that didn't last long, did it? Hardly worth leaving Frank for, that.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I helped her move a gear in.
What does Frank know?
I haven't told him.
He had the right job persuading me to come down here at all to meet.
Did he? Why was that? Something good on the telly?
No, something good to drink. Better than what we're serving here.
Really?
Elderflower wine.
Where's Kat? Come here.
What's the matter, Lynn?
You'll never guess what I've just heard.
What?
Kim's left Neil.
So I may have gone a bit too far, but it's not much fun when you're the last person in the village to know what your wife is getting up to.
See what you mean. Sorry.
Of course, if Kim and I were communicating like civilized people, it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, things are never easy, though, when feelings are running so high.
No, and I realize, of course, that that's my fault, to a large extent. So I've decided to get a grip on myself.
Good.
Look, Joe, I won't beat about the bush, but I want to get in touch with him. Put things on a more amicable footing. So I'd like you to give me her address.
I can't do that, Frank.
Well, her phone number, then. Look, I'm not going to harass her. The lawyers are making a right pig's ear of the settlement, and I think we can do a lot better on our own.
How would it be if I asked her to phone you?
Well, I think that's extremely overprotective of you, Joe, but it makes you feel better.
It does.
I'll be in the house all morning.
I'll tell her.
Are you sure you can spare her?
Absolutely no problem. I'm delighted.
Because we could make it the following weekend.
Hello?
Hello, Frank. It's me. Joe said you wanted to talk to me.
Oh, yeah. Can you hold on a sec? Listen, Eric, don't worry about a thing. You just have a good time. And give Elizabeth my best wishes. I'll see you both soon.
Right. Thanks.
It's nice to hear from you. How are you?
Fine. Very well. How are you?
Pretty well. Listen, I just want to say I'm very sorry about what happened the other evening.
That's all right.
Can we meet? I can come to you.
You know the Majestic at Skipdale?
Yes.
I'll meet you in the Hebden room.
Fine.
12 o'clock?
Yes, I think I can make that.
See you soon, then.
I'm looking forward to it.
What's going on?
Take a look yourself.
don't believe it.
I wonder if you can tell me if you have a Mrs. Tate staying here.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Are you sure? What about Mrs. Kincaid?
You don't seriously think I'd arrange to meet you at the hotel I'm staying at, do you?
Kim, I'm sorry. It's good to see you.
The Hebden room's through here. Let's talk, shall we? I think I ought to warn you that my solicitor doesn't think this meeting is a particularly good idea.
Look, Kim, you and I are civilized people. I'm sure we can come to a perfectly sensible arrangement without even a single lawyer being involved.
Civilized? You call the way you've behaved so far civilized? You threw me out the house on Christmas Day. You slashed my clothes, Zoe brought my things over to Neil's in rubbish bags.
All right.
You tried to send those poor, innocent horses to the knackers. You bawled me out in front of the whole of Beckendale. You stopped my bank account and you tried to shoot me. And you expect me to believe you're civilized?
It won't happen again.
You're damn right it won't.
Look, we can't talk here. Why don't you come over to the house?
Are you mad? You tried to shoot me, Frank. You tried to kill me.
I was demented, Kim.
Drunk, more like.
Yeah, well, it won't happen again.
Won't it?
No. I promise. Can't you understand? It was because I cared about you so much. I couldn't bear it.
Don't start giving me sob stories. Nothing justifies the way you've behaved towards me.
No. And I want to make it up to you. Just tell me what it is you want.
My solicitor's already told you. My fair share.
See you again?
Is there any point?
Yes. Look, Kim, what more do you want from me? I've already admitted that I've been unreasonable about the business.
Not just about the business.
I think you're forgetting how much provocation I was under.
Oh, well, if you're going to turn nasty...
I'm not turning nasty. Not for the last time. I'm prepared to discuss a reasonable distribution of all our assets, provided we do it in private.
All our assets. The house as well, you mean?
Yes. Will you come? Kim, after all we've shared, I don't want us to be enemies. It's just been so nice to see you again.
It's nice seeing you too.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, why don't we do it again? Supper?
I don't know, Frank. I'll have to think about it. Maybe.
Ah, Kim, come in.
Thank you.
Here, let me take your coat.
Thanks. Sorry I'm a bit late.
Oh, that's okay. Are you hungry?
Quite.
Good. Let's eat. Can I get you a drink?
I'll have a mineral water.
Good. Coming up. More wine.
No, thanks, Frank. Still got half a glass.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So, how's the haulage business doing?
Oh, fine.
Chris seems to have everything under control.
Good.
You wouldn't have heard, but he's got himself a new driver. Kathy, she went off and did an HGV course without telling anyone.
You're joking?
No, and she passed with flying colours.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. You should have seen Chris. He was so proud of her. Oh, come on, eat up. There's an apple pie in the oven.
That was delicious, Frank. I'm impressed.
My cooking has improved.
Come off it, that apple pie came out the freezer.
Yeah, but I made the beef casserole.
I remember a time when you had difficulty making a sandwich.
Nonsense.
We used to make doorsteps.
Do you remember the time when Dolly was off and I had to make lunch for 6 people?
I'm sorry, Frank. I didn't come here to reminisce.
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
About the affidavit. I've been thinking I may have gone a little bit over the top.
You're not the only one.
Anyway, I'm going to see my solicitor tomorrow. I'll be telling her to tone down my demands, slightly.
I'll be getting in touch with my solicitor as well.
Good. Well, I'm glad we sorted that out. Now I must go.
I'm really pleased you came, Kim.
We needed to talk?
Yeah. You know, after all that happened, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to face you again. But seeing you here, it's made me realise just how
Don't
much...
say something you're going to regret tomorrow, Frank.
I love you, Kim.
Don't, Frank. There is no point.
I do. And I don't care if you don't want to hear it. It's the truth.
We've had a pleasant evening. Don't ruin it.
Do you have to go?
Of course I have to go.
I need you.
Like I said, I'll go and see my solicitor tomorrow.
Please stay.
Joe? Joe?
These repairs had better work. From the look of those stock books, I've donated enough free food to those scavengers over the past few weeks.
This'll do the trick, don't you worry.
I still don't understand how a couple of herons can eat so many fish.
There's more than a couple of herons about.
What?
Well, Seth reckons there's a whole colony in the woods.
I don't believe this. We're about to be overrun by a plague of herons, and the best thing you two can do is to stick up some lace curtains.
Don't you fret, Mr. Tate, they'll not get through this. Then they'll have to move out the area to search for food.
3 rounds of buckshot on each of their backsides, that would make them move quicker.
They're a protected species, we can't do that.
I'm not having them eating away at my profits.
Give them time, they'll move on, hunger will drive them away.
If they don't, and I'll be watching, that's it. You're out on your ear. Have you got that?
I don't know how you put up with him at times.
Give him a few days up wagon, he'll be all right.
Give him a lobotomy, it'd be even better.
Don't you worry, lad. You don't frighten me.
One of the two.
Yes.
What's going on? Sorry? Well, you were both so engrossed you didn't see me coming.
Has that damaged your ego?
No, I just wondered what was so interesting. You're the last person I'd expect to see here.
This is a holiday village, not a concentration camp. People are free to come and go as they please.
Sure. Does Dad know you're here?
Not unless he's bought himself a spy satellite recently, Chris.
Why are you here, Kim?
I came to see Joe. If it's any of your business.
It is when you're on our estate. I'm curious.
Yes. Our estate. I better go, Joe. I don't want to cause any trouble.
Well, that's very generous of you.
Yes, Chris. I am generous. I've never been a greedy person. And you'll appreciate that side of my nature quite soon.
What are you talking about?
I'm here to sort out the divorce. Or the settlement, anyway. I've been looking around, you see. And I reckon this place will do just fine. For starters.
Hey,
What's the matter, Joe?
what else do you think you're playing at?
I don't understand.
Do you really hate the man that much?
Sorry.
He can kill himself on his own quite easily enough without your help.
Oh, Frank.
It's not a laughy, though.
Joe.
It's not a joke, a bit of a giggle.
Joe, listen
Look,
to me.
I have been there. My old man had the same problems as Frank. Now, that was bad enough. What was worse were his mates egging him on. Have a drink, Jacob. Go and have another. Try a double this time.
Which means at least he didn't have a treble.
Oh, I see. You're looking after him, are you?
Yes, Joe, I am. At the moment, no one can do anything about it. Frank's buying and no one's going to stop him. Not the mood he's in these days.
I can
and
see
if
that
he
he's...
is going to drink, I'd rather he did it here, among friends. People will look after him. At least make sure he won't drive home afterwards.
Well, real friends wouldn't let him drink at all.
And if we did that, he'd go to some other pub. Drink with people who he didn't know. People who didn't give a monkey's what he does.
Well, you can look at it that way, I suppose.
It's the best we can do right now, Joe, really.
Come on, then. Another scotch in there.
I'm going to see Roger Ballantyne this afternoon. You know him, don't you?
Yeah, nice bloke.
Yeah, it's quite exciting, really. I was talking to him just before Christmas, and he was thinking about investing in a stallion, going in for some breeding, using my stables, and I bring on the foals.
You'll need a lot of money, though.
I know, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And I need someone like Roger to invest in the stallion and mares, etc. I couldn't possibly afford it. Well, not all at the moment, anyway.
So he's still interested, then?
Yeah, I spoke to him last week. Thought he might start going to some horse sales next month.
At least some things are working out fine.
Yeah, I think so. If I can get Roger definitely committed. And there's still a few other old clients. I'm sure he'll come back to me. So then it's off to the bank.
But I'll certainly stay with McAllister with you.
So I should hope. If I can't rely on you for custom, who can?
Joe?
Kim! Didn't expect to see you so soon. What's up?
I don't know, really. Except for the fact Roger couldn't wait to get rid of me. Practically threw me off his land.
Why?
You tell me, Joe. You'd have thought I'd come to steal the family silver the way he carried it. Could have throttled him, Joe. I mean, why didn't he ring me if he'd changed his mind? Instead of letting me drag all the way out there.
Must have given you some reason.
Maybe he thought I was no longer suitable.
Yeah. Well, he's got a better deal somewhere else. You know, in other stables.
Well, fair enough. He only had to say, though.
It's true.
I tell you, Joe, it was really odd. Almost embarrassed and covering it up by being rude.
Well, maybe they had an argument with a girlfriend or something.
Maybe.
Well, never mind, Kim. He's only one. Tell you what, I'll keep my ear to the ground, see if I can rustle up some clients.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
Funny, though. I always thought Roger was a straight dealer.
Hello, Captain. Lynn, mind if I join you?
I don't mind. What can I get you, Frank?
Orange juice, please.
Anything in it?
Ah, that's nice. So, how's my favourite daughter-in-law?
Working hard?
Which tells me you're doing us proud up at the haulage yard.
Yeah, I'm coping.
Nonsense. I'm sure you've got a good head for business.
It's quite fun, I must admit.
Kim used to be like that, sharing my interests, getting stuck in.
I don't know how much longer I'll do it. I mean, the haulage industry's all very well, but
You enjoy working with Christopher, don't you?
it has its ups and downs. I'm not sure I'd want to do it for very long, though.
I used to enjoy working with Kim. Thought she enjoyed it too.
She did.
Oh, yeah. That's why she went off with the Honourable Neil Kincaid, was it? Because she enjoyed working with me.
You know it's not as simple as that.
No, I think it's quite simple. She's a lying, conniving, scheming...
Please, Frank, not again. You've got to get over her sometime, you know.
Oh, don't worry. I don't give a toss about Kim anymore. She means nothing to me now. Nothing.
Yes, Frank. Whatever you say.
If you compare the actual results with the original cash flow forecasts, you'll see we've done a lot better than anticipated.
Your optimism does seem to be fairly soundly based.
Well, I think we're quite safe in revising our forecast upwards.
It all seems very satisfactory, Mr. Sugden. I'm sure there'll be no problem. We'll be in touch again in the next few days, or certainly by the end of the week.
Frank, I was telling Mr. Morrell how you were delayed at the other meeting.
What the devil are you doing here?
Frank, everything is fine. I'll just show them out.
Get out.
Frank.
Now, before I throw you out.
For heaven's sake.
How many more times am I going to give you a push?
Frank, not now.
You're fired, Sugden. Now get out of my house.
Sorry about this, Mr. Morrell.
Out. If you don't mind. What are you hanging around for?
You're making a big mistake.
You've already made it. Right. Now we've cleared that up. Where shall we begin?
I think we've already seen quite enough, Mr. Tate. Good morning.
Kim! Georgina, how nice to see you.
Business shopping, or is it pleasure?
Business. I don't get chance for much pleasure these days.
How are things going?
Oh, not too bad. Are you still on for dinner?
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
Good. I thought I'd invite a friend of mine, Joe Sugden, along. Then we won't feel bound to spend the whole evening talking business.
Good idea.
Are you after anything in particular?
Just looking at hats, really. My old one's had it. They're so expensive, though.
Tell me about it. I hate to think what that little lot's going to cost. Do you fancy a coffee after you've finished?
I'd love one.
Good, well, I'm about done. So...
Right, give me 5 minutes.
OK. Can I give you my new address?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Tate. I'm afraid I'll have to insist on cash.
Pardon?
I'm afraid I'm unable to extend any further credit, Mrs. Tate.
Well, you must have a reason.
I'm afraid I'm no longer at liberty to offer you credit facilities. That's all I can say.
This is complete nonsense.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Tate.
I've always had an excellent relationship with you in the past.
And I've been very grateful. But at this time, Mrs. Tate, I can't help you. Sorry.
I see. Well, you'd better put that lot back then.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Tate. There's also your outstanding account.
I'll settle it in the usual way, at the end of the quarter.
I'm afraid I must insist on immediate settlement.
Very well. There'll be a cheque in the post tomorrow.
Thank you, Mrs. Tate.
And in future, I'll be taking my business elsewhere.
Sorry, Mrs. Tate. I have no choice.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm damned if I know. But if you're thinking of buying anything here, I wouldn't recommend it. The service seems to have gone downhill recently.
Frank!
I told you I want you out.
For heaven's sake, you can't go round like this.
I want you gone within the hour. And you as much as put a toe on my land, I'll have you for trespass. Is that clear?
Crystal.
Good. And anything you leave behind, I burn.
I'd be grateful if you could make it an hour earlier. Right, thanks.
Trouble?
Sid Slaney's off sick. Just fixing up an agency driver.
I thought you left that sort of thing up to Kathy these days.
I do, normally. So how are things with you?
Pretty good. Especially since I've thrown Joe.
Thrown him out?
The nerve of the man. Sitting there, cool as a cucumber in my house, meeting my bankers, pretending he hadn't been fired.
What have you done now?
You're the one who told me about Joe and Kim.
I didn't expect you to go and sack him in the middle of an important meeting or at the start of the holiday season, come to that.
He was showing Kim around the holiday village, joining in her schemes, according to you. What do you expect me to do?
Don't you think it's about time you stopped letting Kim ruin your life? She's not important.